There was a palpable gray before me. And then I sat before the mirror. Among the thick phosphenes formed 11 clear nail shapes. These shapes arranged, 6 in the middle and 3 on each side. A golden filament formed as a bluish shadow moved across the west wall of the temple. And disappeared out of sight behind the altar. It was like flesh formed around the nails and gold. And then it imploded. In a shape that reminds you of a folded paper fan, kind of bent in a way that sort of funnels. It was a very rich green color. I felt the warmness fill me to the toes. The pain was soothed away, and finally, the mirror went blank, but the colors were more in the room. And I saw my body as faint but striking light, except that it extended beyond my head, and it was like I had a tail 3 times. If we can accept guidance from pseudepigraphal works, are works that we think are from a different time and place than they actually are, then the message of it is taken as transcending that context, and it's taken to value for what it really is. Now, certain people can be such to give insight to what others can't figure out. And this text, in its first edition, was meant to be the first complete decipherment of the Golden Dawn Cypher Manuscript out there. And the Golden Dawn material has since gained some popularity. Even though it's probably 100 years later than was presumed, it does give insight to how the Golden Dawn was constructed, what its original teachings were, and how it operates in an outer sense. The flaming sword from the second degree equals ninth house initiation of the Golden Dawn is colored in the picture in the book. Most of the times that we see it, it's not a colored illustration. And there's talk in this book about how in different Golden Dawn tarot traditions were brought about. I mean, it's a very passing note, but, names are put on that, right? And it's possible, like, for example, that your typical Rider-Waite-Smith deck, that it was stifled for public use, right? And also the understanding of it was stifled for public use. Israel Regarde is somebody that Pope Runyon worked with, and there's some other examples of that. And there's other examples of grimoires that were given attributes that aren't, quite what they were. But nevertheless, they are profound magical systems that things can be figured out stuff with, both implicit and explicit. Pope Runyon worked with different Golden Dawn and other lodge systems. And he worked, he got an initiation from the Dalai Lama after mastering a particular system. In another book, Cypher Manuscript 307, or Book H, that manuscript on the Golden Dawn's Enochian work is shared elsewhere. I mean, not in this book. I think I have a Dan Brown book on my bookshelf somewhere. But, as much as he wrote fiction, it can be said that there's a lot of mystical secrets and stuff hidden in his books. I mean, a couple pages, it's like Little Women or House on the Prairie or something like that, it's a fiction, but there's enough historical information in it, to fill up a couple pages. So it's not that out of the ordinary in what that does there. It talks about the missing page, and it talks about how there are going to be signs for which manuscripts come from which manuscripts. And I still feel buzzy and moved upon as I go over this. Well, I mean, make comments on that.